Am I
Hello,
muted
hello,
now?
everybody.
Can you still
Happy
hear me?
Tuesday. Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear you good.
Okay.
Happy
'cause
New
it said
Year.
I was muted.
Oh,
Okay.
it mutes you while the music's going. It won't let you talk.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed.
Oh, I don't want to.
It's weird though, Rod. Remember one time it didn't mute one person?
Yeah.
There was like a glitch one time.
The person was just talking.
Yeah, and it wasn't muted. But anyways, Happy New Year, everybody. It is now 2024, first show of the year. So thank you all for hanging out with us. I am joined by Rod, my co-host, picking and punching. And below me is Geno's Fine. Geno has been on before. Geno who made most of the newer super chats. And then Caddy Corner to me is Sandy, my flipping van life. It's her first time coming on. So I'm going to let Geno and Sandy introduce themselves. Get your questions in early to make sure we answer them for you. And here's Geno.
Well, hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I just want to tell you a little bit about my channel. I do ride-alongs where I take you guys and I go to different Goodwills and thrift stores and I show you what I buy, how much I pay for it, and what I think I'm going to sell it for. And it's usually a lot of fun. And you never know, along the way, you might have a few special effects jump in and a few laughs. And that's what I do.
Perfect. Here is Sandy. Oh, Pretzel goes to hide as I introduce. Look, he's like, here's my butt.
Where's That's Pretzel. Well, I'm Sandy. My flipping van life. This is my boss, Pretzel. I do have another boss. He's behind Pretzel named Rocco. I am a part-time reseller. I sell primarily on knickknacks, whatnot, and eBay. And I specialize in glass and kitsch, but mostly I'm known for my glass. So, and
Perfect.
excited to be here. Thank you.
And did you say on whatnot? Am I like zoning?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Knickknack, whatnot, and eBay.
Perfect.
And
All
tell
right.
everybody here is from Florida on the panel.
Yes, this is an all Florida panel tonight, guys. All Floridians here. I have to put this up for Geno because Lynn said go team Geno in the villages, and she said you have to stay safe out there.
Okay, that's what I tell everybody at the end of every video. Stay safe out there.
All right, Miss. Yeah, for sure. Miss Patty wants to know any reason why a bunch of ended listings I was cataloging were deleted by eBay. So I think they only store them for a certain amount after you end them. And I bet there's a limit on them, like drafts. Drafts, I know there's a limit of 250. Geno, do you know maybe why that happened?
No, I don't, but I do know that every once in a while, something you list just disappears magically, and I don't know why that happens. And that happens to everybody.
That's the magic of eBay.
Yeah, the magic of eBay. They keep you on your toes.
So Marcia says drafts only list 75 days. I know there's a 250 limit on drafts, but I don't know the rule with ended because my ended, I typically will, I delete my ended, so I don't have a ton in there. So I kind of know what's going on. If anybody in the chat knows, let us know. And did we both just click that?
I didn't click anything.
Oh, I'm seeing things then.
I was going to say I think it's the same as the 90 days. So, your listings disappear from 90 days. I think your unlisted ones or ended auctions stay on for 90 days too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that.
Miss Patty, tell us. Oh, Erin says she has over 800 ended, so it's not a amount thing. So let us know how long they were in there for sure. Miss Catherine sent us a $5 super chat and said Sandy is a rock star and Happy New Year's to everybody. She has been on with us before too. If you want to watch her show, you guys can search it. She has been on. I want to do the whale. Let's do the whale. Here you go. And that is Geno's creation. That's what we'll call him all. We'll call him Geno's creation.
That's my
favorite. I like
favorite.
that one.
Yeah.
I like that one too. All right, let's see. MC Han says a buyer made an offer I accepted. Then they messaged me saying they're in my area asking about local pickup. I don't have local pickup turned on. What's the best way to handle this?
I let people come and pick up stuff all the time. So I would just
So
let them
what do
come.
you do though on eBay as far as like your shipping, marking it? How do you handle that if you didn't have the
Every
local
one of my
pickup?
listings has local pickup allowed. So yeah.
Okay.
So I don't. Can she go back and I don't know. What would you do? Just give the guy your address? I mean, I don't know. It never happened, so I can't answer. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sandy, have you had that happen?
Well, kind of the opposite. I had a buyer was really worried because it was a very delicate vase, and I was because I actually most of the time live in my van and travel, and I sell on the road. And I was actually only like 30 minutes from her address, and so I just knocked on her door and I said, "Hey, I'm actually in your area. I'm not in Florida today." So I hand delivered it, and I mailed her a sticker because I didn't know what else to do. So I took a picture of her holding the vase and said, you know, just for my record, not that I didn't think she was going to do anything with it or file a never received complaint or anything. So I mailed her a sticker and refunded her the shipping or whatever, and called it a day. She was very happy because she was very concerned it was going to get damaged in shipping.
You know what I was thinking? I'm sorry, Rod.
No, go ahead.
When someone buys something from you, you get their phone number, so you could call them and make arrangements that way.
Well, the biggest thing though is when you do a local pickup, you have to have proof of delivery. So what I would do is I would actually relist the item with local pickup. Just tell them to purchase that one and cancel the first one, because when you do buy something, it does send you a QR code, and then when you go to pick it up, the buyer has to show you their phone with a QR code, and you actually have to scan it, and that's how that gives you the delivery confirmation the item's actually there, and that protects you for buyer protection, seller protection. So that's the best way to do that in that situation. I've been there. I've done multiple. I don't recommend doing local pickups unless it's well worth your time, because I have time where if you're selling an item for 10, 15 bucks, it's not worth it to me. But I mean, if it's on 50, 60, 70 bucks, because I have times where I've gone meet someone and then they go, oh, I'm running late. And then that 10-minute run late is actually 25 minutes. And then you're wasting your time there. And so just make sure it's worth your while if you ever do a local pickup.
So I'm going to say the opposite of Rod because I was bad. I had the same exact situation you had. Just before Christmas, it was a buyer that was an hour from me. They knew the item wouldn't get there in time for Christmas. Asked if they could pick it up. I told them that was fine. I met them at my post office. I thought that was a pretty safe option. And we have to go there every day to mail things. And they actually paid the shipping. And my husband met them at the post office, and I just marked it as shipped. So I didn't change it to local pickup because they paid before I could change it. I just marked it as shipped. I didn't even ship anything, but I'll tell you, if you don't ship a lot of things, that could hurt you because it's not like a tracked shipping. But I have so many items that go out that it doesn't hurt me. So what I did, Rod told you the technical, how you probably should do it. I just marked it as shipped and refunded them the shipping, and they were happy because I let them pick it up and they needed it for Christmas. So that's what happened to me a week ago. We didn't even like take a picture or anything of them. That probably, Sandy, is probably a smart thing. But we did have messages of like, he's like, oh, thanks for meeting me. Can you refund the shipping? So we had some correspondence there, you know, to kind of back up. Plus all of the messaging about where to meet and the time was also in eBay messages. So I feel like if we had an issue, I would like to think we would be protected. I hope. DeCampers Great Finds wants to know, is there a way to cancel a bundle request on Mercari? I can't find one item. I messaged the person already. All I see is to accept or counter.
I'm going to pass. I don't deal with Mercari.
I don't know. I dabbled in Mercari prior to, I'm more of a buyer on Mercari than a seller. And I've never dabbled with the bundles, so I don't know. Sorry, Lynn.
Yeah, so I have actually never done a bundle on Macari. I think bundles were something they recently added, if I'm not mistaken, on there. But I've actually never had someone do a bundle for me, so I'm not sure on that one, Kat.
So you should be able to decline. If they already bought it, you're going to have to just cancel it. I shipped out a bundle on Mercari today, actually a $300 bundle. I was telling Rod about it earlier, of 2 really big Louis Vuitton boxes. But I have had bundles sell that one item I didn't have, and I just canceled it, messaged the person, said, hey, I don't have this item. If you'd like to repurchase the other, in this case, it was only 2 and I didn't have 1. But if they've already paid, you can cancel the order. If they haven't paid, just go into Mercari and delete that item, and it should cancel the bundle for you if you haven't accepted their offer. Mercari, it's nice because you can delete an item you have an offer on, where Poshmark, if you have an offer on an item, they won't allow you to delete it. So the nice thing about Mercari is you can still delete the item with that offer open, and then it would just null and void the bundle by itself. All right. Lala says she doubled her sales this year. That is amazing. Congrats.
Congrats.
So yeah, she went full time, and she's looking to get rid of a lot of long tail items. She's asking if she can run an eBay sale across the board for 20% off for a few days.
Yeah, I do it. I do it all the time. You can definitely run a sale. And whether you're going to get rid of all that stuff, I don't know. But what I also do is every 6 months, I just have a garage sale and sell the stuff as cheap as I can to get rid of it, because it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I love about the live auctions, like on Whatnot and Knickknacks, because I mean, honestly, I only have so much space. So I can't have the huge inventory like most resellers can. But Kat actually has a fantastic video about how to do an entire sale on your eBay store. If you have a store, you can mark everything on sale, or select exactly which items you want on sale or what category you want on sale. So I recommend Kat's video, because that's how I learned to do it.
Yeah, I think it was my Seller Hub video, my last Seller Hub video I walked through. If you search for Seller Hub and the Nurse Flipper, you'll find that. I'm pretty sure that's what video I did it on.
So we actually have another question too, is how do you have a sale that doesn't include your recent month's listing? So this can go hand in hand with kind of what we're listing right here. So if you go in your My eBay, you can actually go, if you go to run a sale in your store, you can actually, they actually have dates in there that you can do dates. And then they also have like values of the items that you have listed. So you can run sales for like items that are like $10 or more. You can run sales items at $20 or more, or you can run time frames. So for me, when I run my sales, anything 30 days or less, I don't run a sale on. So anything from 31 to 60 days is going to be like 10% off. Anything from 61 to 90 days is going to be 15% off. And then anything over 90 days, I'll run a 20% sale off. So I actually like to use tiers when I do mine, based on how long the item is there, because over time, I either A, the market has changed, B, I overpriced the item, or maybe there's an error in the listing. So by doing that, it helps keep that old inventory moving. So you can just run one across the board just for everything. And to answer the question that we just had in the chat, you can actually break it down by the time frame that you want to do it too.
Yeah, and I run a constant sale. So I actually, like, the first of every month, I schedule my sales for Friday to Monday and Monday to Friday. So I mark up the price on everything, and I run sales all the time. The way that I discount my stuff is offers to likers. I just increase the percent the longer it has been listed. And that's how I do it. And it's just been working for so long, I'm scared to change it, to be honest. But yeah, definitely you can run it. You can pick what you want to, put in the sale according to the dates or categories, if there's certain categories you want to kind of get out of. And I would say, and I want to say, because I've seen people say, I run sales, I don't get any sales from it. I feel like people really don't pay attention unless it's 20% or more. Same thing for me with offers. And 5%, 10% does get me sales on my offers, I will say, because I send 10% on new stuff. But me as a buyer, if you're sending me anything less than 20%, I'm probably not paying attention. I'm like, whatever.
And Kat makes a good point there. When you do, even if you do the smaller amount of the sales off on those items, like for me is I don't get a lot of sales of the 10% off, but I do get a ton of watchers. And then what I like to do is once my sale ends, I will I would add a personal message and I'll send a higher offer to my buyers. So that way I have a direct message to them with an offer and say, hey, I noticed you watched this item you're interested in the item when it was on sale. I'll do a little extra, something for you or something along those lines. Just almost a personal message to really push it. And then I give them a little extra bonus on top of it. That goes a long way. And I get a lot of my sales when my sale ends by sending out private offers.
Oh, and another thing.
Melanie, this is a new, sorry, Geno. Go ahead.
Another thing you can do when you get those promoted listings, you have the option of don't promote that particular listing. You can cancel it from your promoted and just promote the ones you're interested in. It's right along the side, and you just hit cancel, cancel, cancel for the ones you don't want to promote.
But know that cookie stays for 30 days. So even if you end the promotion, they can still charge you the promoted fee for 30 days if the person clicked it before you ended. Melanie said there's a new feature on your active listings. And I saw this button. I didn't pay attention to it. She said you can select whatever number you want and click the sell it faster button. And it automatically you can hit add to and create sales events. So that's a newer feature. And that sounds like it would be a good way if you guys have like a smaller amount of stuff you're wanting to really move out for sure.
I don't know.
Carla, that sounds like really easy. I have mine set up like yesterday I set up all of them for the whole month of January. I just have to remember. Like sometimes it'll be the first day of the month. I'm like, why am I not getting any sales? And I realize my sale isn't on and my stuff is overpriced on purpose. And so sometimes it goes in late. So if I forget, then I don't get sales. Carla wants to know, and you guys can answer in the chat too, is anyone having trouble adding pictures to listings using an iPhone? She said since the first, it hasn't been working for her and she's tried all the things that have been suggested to her.
I use an Android and I have no problems whatsoever. So
no, I have an iPhone. I haven't had any issues.
I literally just listed on my iPhone like several items before this podcast, so no issues. I would recommend trying to uninstall the app and reinstall the app. That might help.
That's what I was thinking, and I'm team Android like Geno, but my listers, my employees use iPhones and they haven't had any problems with it. But I agree with Rod. I would uninstall and reinstall the app, and hopefully that will fix the problem. Miss Rachel wants to know, what is the most amount of money you've ever paid for one item for resale, and what was your profit?
Ooh. I don't usually pay very much for my items. Oh, it's got to be $100 item, but I can't think of any. I wish you would ask it in reverse. What's the lowest I paid and the most I ever made? I can't think of one offhand. It had to be a piece of furniture. I'm pretty sure about that. Because I'm not a big furniture seller, but once in a while I will pick them up if I think I can make money with them.
Ooh.
I'd tell you a storage room story real quick. I bought a storage room. I don't go to storage rooms anymore. I got too old to be lifting couches. And I paid $300 for the storage room. And inside it were these Indian dresses that the Seminole Indians wear on parades. They're all handmade with these beads. There was 100 of them. I brought them back to the tribe and they gave me $5,000. That's the biggest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Probably the one I can think of, because it was just the most recent one I got off of Facebook Marketplace. The lady had listed a uranium vase with no specifics whatsoever, but I could tell on the picture what it was. So I never do this, but I just cash app the $40 to her. And like, I knew what it was. And if it was a prank, it was a prank. I didn't care. It was only $40. And I had to go pick it up. So I had to drive an hour and a half to go pick it up because she wouldn't mail it to me. And it ended up being a Viking lime, uranium lime, diamond twist swung glass base. And I ended up selling it for $500. And that was just like a week and a half ago. So that's the one I think of off the top of my head. So I'm sure there's others, but
Man, I'm trying to think. I have made some big purchases. I mean, if anyone watches my videos, you'll see I just purchased a $10,000, collection, a $20,000 collection. But as an individual item, I would probably have to be. I bought a Castlevania. You guys probably heard me talk about this multiple times, but and Nintendo game from 1986, still brand new, sealed in the box. I paid $385 for it, or $400 for it. I paid an extra $100 to get it professionally graded, and I ended up selling that for $9,000.
wow.
So I made $8,500 profit on it.
The most I've spent is $800 on a Judith Lieber purse, and that was my highest sale, $3,500 sale. So a little over $2,000 in profit, but I actually bought two. I paid $600 for one, $800 for the other, and both of them together sold for $6,000 to the same buyer. So overall, it was about a $4,500 profit on two items. And those were bought in an online auction and they were mailed to me, which was kind of scary till they got here because I was like, oh, because I paid so much for them. But they aren't overly fragile. So those, and I think I paid close to $800 for one of my Kappa Di Monte Disney pieces that sold for $3,000 as well. So yeah, man, I would buy Judith Lieber purses all day long, but there are some that are lower. I found lower ones. The ones that are expensive are the ones that are covered in Swarovski crystals. Both of those I got were covered in Swarovski crystals. She has regular purses. They still sell for $300-$400, but they don't sell for thousands like the Swarovski ones. And they're tiny. They're like this big. They're little Menadiers, and they sell for crazy money. Lala sent us $4.99 super chat.
So
listen, go ahead. We'll probably say the same thing, but go ahead.
So listen, we all start out nickels and dimes make dollars, but as you start building up a bankroll, you can start making bigger purchases along the way and taking more risk. And that's how you learn, and that's how you're going to build your inventory, and that's how you expand your reselling business. And trust me when I say this, it takes one buy, just one buy, that can change the whole trajectory of your business. It will just turn around, and because like that one purchase I made, I mean that could bankroll so many more purchases. Just that one sale I had, that purse sale you had, that can. I mean, you can buy out $500 collections left and right with that extra cash. So just keep that in mind. Have the mindset that you guys need to have, that you're not too cheap to do that or too chicken. It's just you haven't got to that point in your business yet. And everyone here can do it. It's always you're trading up, you're working your way up.
And research. If you do the research, like with the Judith Lieber, there were none listed. I searched WorthPoint. I saw a 10-year purchase history. I knew what they would sell for. If you do your research and and they took under 2 months to sell because they were rare. There were none listed. So I had the upper hand there. And just you should, with time, get more confident in your researching and your ability to source where you can feel comfortable making a purchase that big. Like Rod's big collections, I think the box buy was one of my bigger ones. I spent $4,000. I've spent $6,000 in online estate auctions comfortably. Like I know the money is there. It's not even a risk for me. I don't see it as a risk.
And here's the thing: like you bought 100 boxes off me for $500, so you had a small investment, but that gave you proof of concept to have you give the confidence to go to the next level to make that big purchase buy. Because you did confidence. Wow, these ones are selling for me. If I can get more of these and take it to the next level, do that. So that's another thing too. Is just like she mentioned, not just research, but you can smart off just buying something small that is going to work. And then once you come later on, you may come to a bigger buy where they have multiple of those items. And that's where you get the confidence to really make that step forward, because you've already dealt with that thing in the past.
Yeah, and you're comfortable knowing that it's going to sell.
Yeah.
And if you like scaling up a reselling business without employees, I have employees, so I am scaling up in that way that a lot of people don't and don't want to do. You can either sell more or sell higher dollar. So if you want to make more money, learning those higher dollar and being willing to spend that money is one way to really step it up. You know, there are people that make 10 times what I make selling 10% of the items because I don't have the bankroll to go buy tons of $800 items. I just don't. Can I buy them every now and then when I find them? Yeah. But could I go buy 100? No. But if you scale up to that can increase your income without increasing how much you're working, because you're getting these higher dollar items, and you could sell 2 and make more than you're making in a month selling 100 things.
And here's another thing too, is also, this is why networking is so important, because if you can be friends with other resellers in your area, if a big buy comes around, it's okay to go partners in it. Like, for example, if I had a big buy and I reached out to Kat, I'm like, hey Kat, we have this big buy, we can go in together and pour our money together and make this big buy for us to split that. A lot of sellers that don't have those bankrolls rely on other people in your area. That's why networking is so important. I have a couple local resellers that have reached out to me and said, hey, if I come across this big buy, would you partner with me? I'm like, if it makes sense, absolutely. We split the merchandise, take our merchandise and go separate ways and stuff like that. But it's okay to partner up to help yourself get to the next level too.
Yeah, for sure. Lala sent us $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Here is, I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Here is your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun.
Was that the first one I ever made for you? I think it was.
I think that is. Yeah. I still have my couple of originals in there too.
I know.
From almost 4 years ago that we made. So I have a long list of them now. Valerie wants to know what the volumes of sales, and maybe we can say like what our typical, average sales are daily or weekly. She's asking, do we ship every day?
I ship every day. Maybe one day a week, something like a Monday or Tuesday, I won't. But usually I ship every day, 3 or 4 items. And by the end of the month, it's about close to 100 items. What does she want to know besides that?
Just
sales?
if we ship every day. I mean, yeah. And the volume.
It took a couple of years, actually a little more than that, to get enough where I am shipping every day. I used to ship one a week, one a month when I first started. But now, yeah, it's starting to pay off big time. And I think my YouTube channel helped with that a little bit. But I've been putting a lot of hours into this business. And trust me, you're going to have to put a lot of hours if you want to make it a success.
Yeah, I like the live sales in the sense that I can control how much volume because I do work full time. So if I know I'm going to have a sale on whatnot on, like, say, a Wednesday night and I need to ship it within that 2 days, I know I'm not going to have a 100-item sale that night. I know I'm going to limit it to like 25 items so I can get it shipped within those 2 nights. So I like that control in the sense, whereas like static listings, you have no control. It'd be fantastic if someone went on my eBay and bought 100 items. That would be great. But that's kind of like, you can't really control that, which I think I like the ability to say, hey, like last week I had a sale and I sold 50 items. So I was shipping a lot of shipping. That's a lot of shipping. So the volume, I would say a lot, but that's because I do live sales. When it comes to eBay, I will probably sell like 1 or 2, maybe 3 items a day.
So for me, it's varied so much over the last couple months because with me going all in on whatnot has really just been a game changer for my business. My eBay store setup, I have 2 to 3 days shipping on. I I mostly ship every other day on eBay. But when if I'm doing live whatnots or live selling on Dibbit or whatnot, I'm going to be shipping those the next day because I want to keep my rating up high. Whatnot is really, they rank you on there by, your shipping speed on there, that you click on any sellers. I like to have mine less than a day on there, which is cool. But I mean, I went from shipping, a couple hundred items a month on eBay to now shipping, I shipped over 1,000 items last month. So it was just a ton of shipping. That's why it's so important. If you guys do whatnot and go all in, it's really important to have like or very similar items so they're easy to package up, so you can do a lot more volume. But I would say now I probably do ship 4 days a week. But when I wasn't doing whatnot, I was only shipping 3 days a week, depending. But if it's around Christmas time, I'll ship every day.
Yeah, around Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we ship every day. Our average has been 20 to 25 eBay sales a day here lately. About 50 over the weekend. We shipped out 48 today on eBay and 15 between Poshmark and Mercari. So about 65. Plus we had 40 whatnot orders go out from a Friday sale. So I don't ship on Saturdays. I stopped doing that years ago because I wanted the 2 days off. So I only ship business days, just like a normal business isn't shipping on Saturday. So we do not ship on Saturdays, and whatnot 90% of the time goes out the next day. My daughter does the whatnot shipping. So the only time when she's in nursing school, if she has a class or something or a test and she isn't able to, it might go out 2 days. But our average time on like 20,000 items sold is 1 day or less than 1 day, I think it says. So I agree with Rod. When you're doing the sales, you definitely want to get it out because people can look and see like what your average ship time is on there. And yeah. Rocks to be me says, when running a sale, is there any way to avoid having to send additional offers other than ending the listing? I already removed accept offers.
I don't really understand what he's asking. When you run a sale, is there any way to avoid having to send additional offers?
I think
I don't know what he's asking.
they may have automatic accept offers on to a certain point. I'm assuming. Hey, I'm not. Sales any way to avoid having.
I'm sorry, Rod.
I think that's what she's asking, but
Yeah.
I will say, and I know Rod just said it a little bit ago, and I don't know if he said it after, but he gets more sales after the sale by sending offers. So I don't recommend ever turning off best offer, because like, what if I have people send me offers like $1 less than I'm asking. Some people send good offers, not all, obviously. I think we all know that, but I wouldn't want to turn it off. And I mean, you can always decline or counter, but having best offer on also will boost you in the algorithm. That's an extra little bump you get if you have the best offer on. You don't have to send the offers that pop up. That's completely optional. You'll just see it. If maybe that's what she means, like the send offers to watchers. Maybe that's what she's saying. Like, she doesn't want to see the sending offers to watchers. You know what I mean? Where it pops up while her sale is running. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
All right. I'm putting this up here because she's really trying to get rid of her vintage encyclopedias. If anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area needs a free set of vintage encyclopedias, and those suckers, some of those sell high.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some sell for hundreds. Then put it in the chat. She's trying to get rid of some. Caroline wants us all to discuss when we started eBay.
When I started was 1999, but I was doing storage rooms then and just taking the stuff that could sell on eBay and putting it on there. So I've been doing it a long time. And I love it just as much as I did the first day. So if it's in your blood, you're going to love this business.
Yeah, I started right around the same time. mostly as a buyer. I started just putting stuff on eBay super casually, like things I didn't want anymore. A lot of books when I was in school that I wasn't using anymore, I just sell them on eBay. And then it wasn't until COVID hit that I actually started reselling more seriously. I work full time, like my profession, but I've always had a side hustle to pay off my student loans, which are finally done. But I I decided
I wish I could say that. I can't.
I still like the side hustle. So I was in a restaurant for a long time, and then when COVID hit, I couldn't do that anymore. So I needed something new, and I said, well, what the heck? I'll just start selling stuff I don't want anymore on eBay, and then just kind of evolved and evolved and evolved, and here I am.
So I started selling I started on eBay in 1999. So I call it the Wild West, where you get checks, money orders, envelopes with just cash, like you're a drug dealer. You had to go to the post office. You had to put your own tracking stamps on it where they had to scan it and rip off. Like, it was just a nightmare. Like, you guys have it so easy now when you print off your labels at home, and like I had to handwrite all my labels back then. Like, just a nightmare. But I originally started on eBay selling professional wrestling figures and sports cards, just for the fact that I was collecting those things, and I found that I started selling when I was in high school, and to help pay for I was a poor high school kid, to help pay for my collection, I just bought extra items, and I would put the extras on eBay, take out the ones I want. That's how I got started, and I just got addicted to it because I was like, oh, this is cool. I got a free collection of video games, free collection of action figures, and then I just over the years I helped pay for my beer in college and party money to go out, flip it on eBay, and then it just evolved into what it is today.
So I also started in 1999. That was the year that my oldest son was born, and I was staying home with him, and I wanted to stay home with him. So I actually started selling plants. There was a little plant nursery next to where we lived in Jacksonville. My ex-husband was in the Navy, and they had little rose starter plants, like in little 3-inch pots. And I would list multiple quantity because I didn't have to buy them. The guy had tons of them. So I'd wait till they sold, and then I would go buy them from him because he had hundreds of them. And I did plants. That was the first thing I started with. And then probably in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I owned a plant nursery. So I started doing plants again, and we were shipping like big volumes of plants. And then I stopped as my older kids had a bunch of school activities going on. And then when I had Dalton, so I've like been on, off since 99. And this time I started back up when I had Dalton, which was, maybe it was before. It was before I had him because we were getting pallets, and I don't think we had Dalton with us. So probably 2017, 2018, I started selling on eBay again, and I went full time in 2022, almost 2 years ago. I quit nursing and went full time. So off and on for well over 20 years. And I will tell you, and a lot of people that watch me know this, I get bored very easy. So just selling plants, I burn out on it. I was over it. And that's why you guys will see me switch it up all the time. I get bored just selling one thing. If I was niched down, I would have quit a long time ago. I'm very like squirrel, and I'm like, okay, like the monotony and seeing the same thing. I know a lot of people like the structure. I do not. I like hecticness, craziness, figuring out what box, figuring out packing stuff, and seeing tons of different things. I remember the cash, getting cash in the mail, money orders. I loved when they sent postal money orders because the post office would cash it. That was like the best. Those were my favorite.
Yeah, and there was no buy it nows back in the day. It was all auctions to start off with. And then they added the feature of the buy it now to the auction, and then it evolved from the buy it now by itself. But yeah, it was definitely.
And back then, I paid $10 to be featured in the plants category, and my listings were on top all the time for $10. They were at the top of the plant category. I would have 50 of them, so I was fine paying $10 because I had 50 available. And yeah, that was, I wish, like, think about that, like all the time featured on the top of a category. Like, beautiful.
I used to find tons of mislisted items for people just misspelling stuff back in the day because people just didn't know on eBay, how to put the keywords in and stuff like that. I was being an early adapter. That's why it's so important. Anytime there's a new reselling platform, you guys need to jump on it just to learn it. You don't have to sell on it. Get on there as a buyer, figure it out, because being an early adapter gives you such an advantage on these platforms.
Yes.
And it's when I first started, it shows you that you can sell anything. I was selling casino chips. I lived right outside Atlantic City in New Jersey. And I would go to each casino. I'd buy 100 chips and I'd sell them as a group. There were 12 casinos at the time. And I would sell them. Also, I would take little frames and put them in so you could give them away as gifts. So you can start with anything and start selling it. And the good thing about chips, if you needed your money back, just go to the casino and cash the chips in. It was no loss. So it was good.
Very true.
Yeah. And like I did back then a lot of like Walmart clearance even then before I even knew what retail arbitrage was, because you had 30 days to return it. So I would do it. And if it didn't sell on auction, I'd just go bring it back and get my money back. And same thing, not be out any money. It's still crazy. And I did a video on like things you wouldn't expect to sell. So for those of you that are like new and early in your business, being in Florida, think of the stuff that's around you that other people don't have access to. And I've talked about this before. I've sold the Spanish moss out of the trees for people to decorate. That's free. It's in my yard. And I actually am getting ready. Do you know? I didn't know. I found this out and my husband's going to hate me because my husband didn't clean out the fireplace. So there's all this ash. Wood ash sells for like $20 for 2 pounds. So guess what he's going to be doing? He's going to be taking the ash from the fireplace and putting it in gallon baggies, and I'm going to sell them for $20.
Do you know
it's crazy.
Do you know what I just sold is I did this in my last Flipper videos. I've been talking about this, but you know those on the good juice boxes, the Good to Grow they're called. They have little characters on top. You take them off.
The juice bottles.
Yeah, the tops of those.
They're $4 a bottle. Dalton loves those things. Don't tell me they sell.
They sell great on eBay. Go look at them.
How many I've thrown away?
Let me tell you, there's silver ones and there's clear ones that you can sell individually for $10+. And I put them in lots. Kat, I've sold over $100 in the past like 2 weeks.
You know how much I spent on those juice bottles for that kid, and we just toss them.
Good to grow, guys. There's your bolo of the week. Take a look at those. And that's why you need to watch my Flipper videos.
So people buy the wood ash, yes, for the garden, and then you can make soap out of it. It's like a natural lye. Anyways, Brad didn't clean out the fireplace, and now we're selling it. Like he's gonna scoop it into baggies, buddy. That's what I'm like. Why is there so much ash in the fireplace? Anyway, this Claudette joined membership, which is cool because where did it go? I'm going to give you the member dolphin, but you became a member, and I don't know if somebody told you in chat, but you asked if we ever look at shops, and a week from Thursday is my members review. So now that you join membership, a week from Thursday, a week from today, I will post for you to enter, and a week from Thursday, once a month, I review your shops. It can be eBay, Etsy, Mercari, whatever you list on, and I'll look at them and see what I see that will make you better. It's really funny because people that have been in there long, I go in and I'm like, yeah, I got nothing for you because they've listened and their shops look amazing. And I literally have nothing for them. Their sell-through rate is better than mine. And I'm like, yeah, you're beating me. So make sure you remember to look a week from today for me to post in the community feed. And I can look at your shop a week from Thursday. And this is one of the original. Geno hasn't made me a new member one. Here's
Tell me what.
Welcome to the flipping family.
I cut you off. Sandy sideways.
No, Sandy. That's cute, Sandy. It takes a lot of practice to do that. Yeah, there you go.
You have
to
to
be like Sandy.
Oh, okay.
That was very cute.
No.
Better.
It's okay. Oh, here's a question. And I just did this, so I'll be a good one to answer this for you. How do you determine how much you will pay for a closet full of clothes at an online auction if you can't see the tags?
You still got to look through them. I don't buy a lot of clothes. It's not my thing, but I'll pick out shirts and stuff. But I don't know. You'd have to know the name brands. You just can't make some crazy offer. I guess you could. You're going to get a lot of junk if you do it that way. I don't know.
Never buy clothes. I do not do clothes.
So this is why knowledge is power. I would say you got to look for key things on those clothing or key items or things that stand out. It could be just little symbols on the clothing. It could, I know you can't see the actual tags behind it, but like, for example, like Lululemon has if you flip it up, you can actually see that on there.
Yeah, the
certain
logo.
things, certain logos are in different places on items. Also, too, knowing the location and kind of the backstory where the item may have come from also can help in that thing. If it's coming from like a nice neighborhood or an estate, especially if it's like an estate auction, they have the backstory to it. But what about you, Kat? You buy a lot of online auctions, so.
Yeah, so I just bought 2 closets full of clothes about 2 weeks ago from an online auction that I could not see the tag. What I did, they will normally have like 2 or 3 of some tags so you can get an idea. Rod said it for sure. If you know neighborhoods, that's a good thing. Look at what else is in the auction. Yep. That will tell you that person's lifestyle. I will tell you the clothes I got are not high dollar clothes, but there are a few in there. So most of them are going to be $15 to $20, but I got hundreds of pieces for $200. I am less than $1 into each piece. I went through them just in case you do buy it. Went through them, anything under $15, stained bad, ripped bad, unless it's vintage now. If it's vintage and stained, I will still list it. Automatically donated probably about 40% of those closet clothes, and the rest we are listing. There was a ton of wool from Ireland. You get lucky. It's like a crapshoot. I always say, like, the big lots are like gambling. I knew I would make my money back. There's no way in hell that I couldn't make $150 off of 150 pieces. I could go to the flea market and sell them for $1 each and make that. So I know that my money's there, and you just hope you find, like I said, we had not a ton, at least 5 Ireland wool pieces that weren't shown in the closet. I did see vintage clothes in there. So I try and calculate about how many items are in there because they typically will show it. This one, I figured about $200. I was willing to go to $200. I'll pay $1 a piece to take a chance. And especially if you see other good stuff. And the best closet I bought lots of closets. I like buying full closets, both linen and clothes, was in Geno's neighborhood. And I made so much, not his exact, but it was in the Villages. I made so much money. It had all golf clothes. And I mean, name brand, top dollar women's golf clothes that I got for $1. And some of the golf tops, why can I not think of the name? The very bright colored, I can't remember. Her shirts sell for $40 to $50 a piece. And I paid $1. And there were tons of them.
Cat pushed me out of the way and ran over and bid on it.
I did. That was years ago, but that was the best closet I've got because she obviously took care of everything. It was all in immaculate condition, and yeah, so it's a gamble to an extent. If you're less than $1 in, if you can't get that back, something's wrong. And you just hope that you have, if I had 10 $50 pieces, that's $500. I already tripled my money on 5 pieces. I could toss the rest out and call it a day if I didn't want to deal with the $15 and $20 pieces.
I think Cat's gonna agree with me on this one. When you guys do buy online auctions, you guys can't see anything, or you buy storage units, you almost have to be a detective. You have to look for clues throughout the whole process that are going to help give you an educated buy in the process. So look for things that are surrounding it. Look for because a lot of times when you buy big lots, I always like to do the 80-20 rule where I get, 80% of my money back from 20% of the items. After that, then it's going to be, you're going to kill it that time.
Loudmouth. That is what they were. Thank you. I could not remember the name. And they all sold so fast I don't have any more. Yes, it was Loudmouth. And though they sell like the crazier the pattern, the more money they sell for. It is absolutely crazy. Lawrence wants to know, is eBay becoming less of a nonprofit? They were open on the holiday yesterday. I don't know what.
They're not a nonprofit. I own their stock. They're not a nonprofit. So yeah. I don't know what that means. No, they're not nonprofit.
Maybe an eBay store. That's the only thing I can think of. And I don't know when eBay would never be nonprofit. I don't know what this means. I don't know.
Either is goodwill.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Miss Rachel said she's going to Orlando in February and will most likely want to thrift. Other than Goodwill, are there any locations that we can recommend to her in Orlando?
If there were a honey hole, I wouldn't tell you. No, I go to Orlando once in a while, but not that often. There's a Goodwill on Hoffner Avenue in Orlando that I like, but I wouldn't go out of my way to go there. I'm more north of there. That's where I do most of my.
Yeah, there's one called OMG Thrift. That's pretty good in Orlando. I've been there a couple times. I prefer antique stores because I still think you can get really good prices if you know what you're looking for at antique stores. I don't get me wrong. I'll stop at thrift stores if they're on the way, but I just have better luck at antique stores. But OMG is a good thrift store, and there's another one. Let me think about it.
There's a big Salvation Army down there too.
Sun Thrift, I think the name of it. Sun Thrift.
Yeah, I would say there's also Goodwill bins down there. I know there's a lot. I would recommend both. There's a couple of YouTubers that specifically sell clothing. Cam Bauer, he sells nothing but clothes, and all he does is go to thrift shops in Orlando. There's I think Joey Bada Bing. There's dealing with Dalton. There's like shoe sales guys down there. So I highly recommend. I would go watch a couple of the YouTubers that specifically are in the Orlando area. Red, White, and Blue is a really good one that's just starting to pick up across Florida. We have a couple in Tampa. They're a lot higher prices, but what you need to look for is they run daily sales and based on the color. So you just got to go almost every day to find something there good because the colors change every single day of what goes on sale.
They're not in Orlando though.
Yeah, they're in Tampa. They're the outskirts, but I mean, you're only an hour and 15 minutes away from Tampa and Orlando, depending where you're in Orlando, if you want to go that route.
Yeah, Mark is in the Orlando area. He said he would be happy to help reach out to him. I was going to say the bins. I haven't been to a ton of thrift stores. When Mark, we went, we didn't really find much good when I had to go down there to get my tires fixed. But I like the bins. They are quite competitive. I will tell you, they are one of the more hectic bins I have been to. But I would go to the bins, but I'll tell you what I do when I'm out of town. And this is for all of Florida whenever I'm going. I just search for thrift store and look for like the mom and pop or the church thrift stores. I tend to do a lot better there than the Goodwill Salvation Armies. And Renninger's is also, and George, the Antique Nomad, will be there the third week in January as well as the third week in February. The antique fair is going on at Renninger's again, which is tons of stuff. If you are anywhere near there, I don't know if I'm going in January. I think I'm going to go in February, but I would hit up the bins. Not funny. So this is a little bit different than what Carla asked earlier, is asking if we've noticed like a change. Has anybody noticed a change with the speed of uploading of photos?
No, I've had no problems whatsoever. I upload 90% of my photos from my computer, but I do from my phone also, and I have no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, froze.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, so you were sideways for a while. We forgive you. You're cute.
You know. It's the same photo question, right? No photo.
No, they're just asking if we've noticed it slower uploading.
No.
It sounds like
I'll be honest, when I list, I use a hotspot since I travel so much, but when I'm listing, I turn off my hotspots and just use the data, and that helps. So I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi issue, and so just using your phone data might help.
that's a good point. So someone said that maybe you have too many photos on your phone that could slow you down in the process too. So may always double check that. Sometimes it may just be something with the user. But for me, no, I had no issues with uploading items there. I would also recommend resetting your phone. Sometimes, your phone is a mini computer. So every once in a while you need to reset it just to clear the cache on it and to just get it back to regular normal.
Yeah, I recommend that too. You'd be surprised the cache, like how full it can get. It can be absolutely crazy. We actually had to update the iPhone today because photo room stopped working. So if your phone's not updated, that can cause all kinds of wonkiness to go on. Lala's Mercantile joined the membership. Now's a great time. We did live shipping today for 2 hours, shipping the 60 items. So everybody got to see that. They got to see my fun, exciting discovery live. And it's not very many people that do the live shipping. So that's really more intimate with myself, my employee, and then Dalton occasionally. Today, he told me he's not working. He's on Christmas break. He refused to come out here today. But it... sourcing, I was saying, so sourcing is Saturday, live sourcing, where I look in your zip code for stuff for your business. And then next Thursday is reviews. So there's a lot going on the next couple of weeks. And I shared the membership schedule to those that aren't members as well. So you could kind of see what you would get if you do it. So here it, Geno, look, see, this is the member dolphin. It definitely needs an upgrade. Here it is again.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Right?
It just says, welcome to the flipping family.
Okay. Well, let me work on it.
Okay.
And that's all you wanted to say. Welcome to the flipping family.
Yeah, and have some dolphins.
Yeah, we're gonna have some dolphins.
Maybe I like the whale. You know what we should do? You know what I would like? I would like some sea turtles. I actually like sea turtles more than like everything else. But a sea turtle isn't a flipper, so I couldn't like get that in with the nurse flipper. But I don't have a sea turtle on. I would like that.
Have little flippers.
Yeah,
that's true. Cindy, I'm hoping, so Rod was talking about this earlier. We answered about not including the recent month's listings. You can do a sale by date, and then you could not include like the last month, or if you wanted to do 2 months or something like that. Squirrely Reseller sent a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. And said, Happy New Year. Oh my gosh, my lovely boss let us all go today. Welcome to a door slamming and possibly a gift in disguise. No severance or nothing. How can I hold a whatnot with no followers, or what can I list and sell quickly? I'm panicked and praying for a miracle. So if this happened to you, Geno, that's how we all should answer this. If this happened to you, what would you do?
Wait, you got to read it again.
So her boss, she got let go.
Her
So
boss fired everybody. No severance, no pay.
Geno, your boss fired you today.
Yeah.
Now you have no severance, no money coming in. What would you do? What would you find that you can quick sell? How would you do a whatnot with no following? What would your plan be if that happened to you?
Well, the first thing, I would find stuff around the house and just put it on eBay, stuff you don't use anymore. That would at least get you started. But garage sales are the cheapest way to get stuff too. If you want to source, I can buy items for $1 and sell them for 20. I mean, at least it'll put food on your table for a while, you know. Yeah, I don't think you could grow eBay fast enough if you were completely broke. You're going to have to get a job for a while eBay is growing. but it's a good business, and almost anything sells. You see the stuff. I sell chips. She's selling moss, Spanish moss off a tree. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can sell on eBay. So think, and maybe you'll come up with something. You never know. I'm always shocked at what sells.
You know, the best way to gain followers on Whatnot is just to be consistent. If that means going on every night at 9 p.m. and build your following until you have to, get there. That's how you do it. I'm almost to 10,000 followers on Whatnot. I'm really
Wow.
close. And, it's, I'm a bad example. I'm not consistent. I don't have a set day and time. But
she has under 1,000 subs, guys. She doesn't have the giant social media following, and she's built Whatnot to 10,000.
Yeah,
I
actually don't really do you. I mean, I have a YouTube and I put a couple videos up, but most of it's like my van life stuff more than the reselling stuff. But I mean, I would be glad to help you out, Squirrely, if that means doing a raid. We can do a back-to-back. I have a sale coming up on Thursday. Send me a message. I think it's on Thursday. And after I'm done with my sale, I'll raid and bring my people over to your sale. So if you got glass, I recommend start listing your glass and set a sale up, and we'll get something going for you. Okay.
Yeah. So if it was me, first thing I'll do is open up a Feet Finder account and or OnlyFans. So there you go. You know, that. But no, all seriousness,
they're gonna start asking for it now, Rod. Now you're gonna have to do it. You don't know they want it.
So all seriousness, so first and foremost, it's a really crappy situation, and so I'm sorry that you're going through that. A lot of us here have been laid off or have been on the raw side of the corporate life, and that's kind of the reason why a lot of us are full-time resellers now. So think of it. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we need the extra push to get us moving or get us motivated. Now, with that being said, if you need money quick, Geno said, great, find items around your house. First thing I would do is find items that around my house, electronics, old purses, goods that you do not use, stuff that you haven't touched in the last 6 months. I would start putting all that stuff up for sale, because the biggest thing you want to do is you're not trying to buy more inventory to resell. You want to use the resources you have in front of you. So the plan would be for me is I would list those high items on eBay. I would also list on Facebook Marketplace, offer up for local sales, because local sales are the quickest way. If you need money and you're panicking that you need money right away, sometimes it's better to take 70 cents on the dollar to get items moving locally and give people good deals, but to get income coming in, especially with things you just have laying around. As for Whatnot, if you need any additional help, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to have a couple shows coming up too. I have over 3,000 followers on there. I'm more than welcome to raid you or do that one night. I can also help you with that. But the best thing about Whatnot is people always say, you don't have to start items at $1 or $2. You can start items at $5 or something along those lines. But you just make sure you bring items that people want. People want value. So when you do Whatnot, think of Whatnot as an overall show, not as individual items. Because for example, if I go to the grocery store, they're going to run a BOGO. I know that grocery store is going to lose money because I'm going to buy one, get one free, but they're going to make all their money on all the other items that I'm going to purchase. So they may lose money on a couple items. They may break even a couple items because they're on discount. But overall, they're going to make their money off 80% of the items I'm buying at that grocery store. I look at Whatnot the same way. So when I run my Whatnots, I'm going to lose money a couple items, but my customers are going to get great items. And I can guarantee they're going to be back at the next show because they got deals that stuff that they can flip online, or items that they could buy off eBay for half the amount of money for their own personal collection. 2 is, if you're going to do Whatnot, make sure you're just interactive. You don't have to have a following, but what you like on social media is what you're going to – people go to Whatnot to be entertained. People turn in the show because they like the interaction we have. We're interacting with the chat. We're interacting with the guests on here. People will turn to Whatnot for exactly what we're doing tonight on this show. So if you pay attention to the chat, interact with your guests. That's how you build a following on Whatnot. If people think that you need a big social media following, yes, does it help? It does help. But the same point is there's so many followers, people on there that have no YouTube or no social media following that are successful on Whatnot. You just have to make sure that you're bringing value and items people want. So that's the biggest thing I can say. Whatnot's going to take time to build up over time. So that might be something that you want to do as a long-term plan. But if you're doing something right now, the first things that I talked about earlier, quick sales, hold a garage sale. I'm not sure where you live. This time of year, depending if you live up north, it's difficult to do a garage sale. But I mean, also too, you can do an estate sale. Look for local churches. Sometimes churches would do indoor sales. Also, like indoor flea markets, you can go set up at just to kind of get items moving to make some extra cash.
Yeah. So Jovial Juggler is putting this, and Marcia asked for your name. If you give them the name to your eBay store, we do not typically allow links. You guys can't share links. The moderators can. I am okay with Marcia sharing the link to her eBay store if you guys would like to go and help her out. So if you can let Marcia know the name of your store so she can find it and she can post the link for us, then we can do that as an exception to the rule. What I would do is, I agree with Eric, I would go around the house, and it's funny because Mark said this. He said, I would even post the stuff I do use. If I needed money, there's stuff that I could live without, right? Yeah. Like us, I will tell you, if I was in the situation where my reselling money quit coming in, I would sell my car. We have a truck and a car. I don't need my car. I have plenty of equity in it. I would sell the thing, and that would get me by for a few months. That is what, like, honestly, if I had no income and didn't have my eBay store, I would also go all this stuff we were just talking about, the Spanish moss, people were putting in the chat, acorn tops, pine cones. I would be the squirrel going around and getting all of this stuff that I could get for free to list. Whatnot might not be a fast thing. You do need time to build it up. We can help with the raid, but depending on what you have, our buyers might not buy your stuff. That's just like, I do so much jewelry and ephemera. Sandy does glass. Rod's doing a lot of Disney and plush. So really, depending on what you sell, like I've got raided by Josh with 300 people. Harry Tornado, his people didn't want my jewelry. It didn't really boost me. I appreciate the raid, but you have to look at the customer base that we're bringing into your show. Like Sandy said, yeah, list glass and I'll raid you. Rod's got Disney and plush, and I'm doing jewelry and ephemera. So it really depends on that. I agree with Rod. I would be posting stuff on Facebook Marketplace where I could get cash. I offer up, if it's good in your area, Craigslist is still good in some areas. I would be going to the flea market where they're handing me cash right now. Because on Whatnot, if you're a new seller without 1,000 sales, you have to wait for that money until it's been delivered for 3 days. So that's not even instant money. I would be listing on eBay all day long. I'm choking, apparently.
And then while she's drinking there, this is something, if someone does raid you, if you're going to start Whatnot and someone raids you, biggest piece of advice I can give to anyone on here, I've seen it happen time and time again. You don't miss out golden opportunities. When you get raided, make sure you always have extra. You don't have to run all your giveaways. Have giveaways already preloaded on every show you do, because when someone raids you, immediately do a giveaway. The reason for that is you're going to gain every single one of those followers in there because they're going to join, because you're going to waste it for free. I've seen so many people that have raided in the past, and then they talk about everything they have, and I've just watched the numbers just dwindle, and they're wasting this golden opportunity. And a lot of people just don't know that that's something that you should do. But if you are planning on doing this, please, please, please have items ready to go. When you get raided, run a giveaway immediately. You can still auction off your items, still talk about what you have, but that's how you're going to help build your following.
Yeah, and I would, like the people saying big stuff, like I would sell my car. Like I could probably sell my car to Carvana. I would think of big things, like people were saying, like I have an extra freezer, a stand-up freezer. Do I have to have a stand-up freezer? No, I really don't have to. Do I have to have 2 couches? No, probably not. I have an extra lap. I would really think of the higher dollar, because I would be thinking rent or mortgage, groceries, gas. That's my top 3 things, and electric. I would let the other stuff go. I wouldn't want to let it go, but my main thing is having a roof over my head and being able to eat, right? So I would try and get those higher dollar items sold. Hopefully you have some small bit of savings. I follow Dave Ramsey, so I have $1,000 because I'm not debt free. So the rest goes towards debt, and $1,000 really probably wouldn't get me very far, come to think of it. But like I said, I have my car, you know, honestly, I could sell a friggin' shed if I had to. I wouldn't want to, but I could if I had to. I would, if you're not wanting to make reselling a full-time thing by possibly this being a gift, of course, I would start applying. I think there are tons of jobs out there right now and nobody wants to work. So I don't think it should. I don't know where you live or what you do. But I see jobs like crazy, even in my little town, because since COVID hit, it's like everybody got used to staying home and nobody wants to go to work anymore.
I would say one thing you could do probably immediately is apply to be like an Instacart or one where people place the food order and
Yes,
you go grocery shop.
and
Yes, I would do that immediately.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats you can do, but you can do like Instacart where people place their grocery store order, you go and pick it up and you drop it off, you get paid for that plus tips. So I mean, there's things that I would do right away if I lost a job, just if I'm making any type of income coming in.
Oh, I could tell her that. I did Uber for a while. I don't do it now because my eBay is doing so well. But I get up in the morning, I turn on the Uber, and the first ride of the day, whatever direction it went, that's the Goodwill I would go to. So I'm getting paid to go to Goodwill. That's one way, you got to, if you're out of work, you got to do whatever you can to make money.
Yeah.
And don't forget garbage picking in your neighborhood. It's free stuff. Might not be beautiful idea, but I would do anything.
I would clean house. I would literally post on Facebook. Anyone needs their house clean, you can, go clean someone's house for a couple hours. You make $100, something like that. Like whatever you had to do to make it work. Trust me. Listen, if my reselling business went down the crapper right now, I would be doing everything I could possibly can.
I'd probably be door dashing.
Yeah,
like I don't want to go back to nursing. I'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this till sales get better. People said my pets are fighting hiding spots. Yeah, like the chickens might gotta go. The dogs and cats are not going. The axolotls might have to go. A fish tank. I'm telling you, like I would be looking. I'm scrappy if I need to be scrappy. I've had to be scrappy in my life. Yeah, several hundred a day on DoorDash. Like that stuff is definitely an option. Oh, sorry, Rod. Click that again. Yeah. So there's so much. I would just figure it out. And like I said, I would be scrappy before I went back to nursing, and I could get a $60 an hour job like tomorrow and be in the door. I don't want that. Yeah. I want to be home.
And also, too, I would post in your local Facebook groups, find some reselling groups in your area, and let the other resellers know in your area what just happened to you, because you may have stuff that these resellers looking to buy.
They might have inventory they'll give you.
Yeah, inventory they'll give you, or they might buy. You have a ton of stuff laying around that you need to sell and make quick money. Resellers are the best buyers because they will buy in bulk. Granted, you have to give them a discount because they have to make a profit, but at the end of the day, that's what we all do. So sometimes it's okay to be the middleman and not the end, the guy, someone's supplying to the end user.
Yeah.
And I know one other thing I could tell her is I knew a person, I've never done this. He would go to garage sales, take down the addresses, and then on garbage day go back because people, what they don't sell, they're going to just throw out in the garbage and you get stuff for free. Well, there's a million ways to find stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of people, or ask them, like, what are you going to do at the end of it? For sure.
I wish people would set up shipping businesses, like not like UPS shipping. Like I wish I could hire a personal, like people I could find on like who just do shipping, where I can drop all my stuff off and come pick it up in like 4 hours, and it's all in pretty boxes and labeled and ready to go.
They have that for Christmas time where you can drop off presents to people's houses and they'll wrap all your presents. They should do that during the non-Christmas season.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, but they put them in boxes for packing.
So can you?
I don't think I'm going that far, Ken. I don't think I'm going that far. Or let me give her a dolphin before I forget. Here you go.
No, I didn't make that one. I'm leaving.
I may or may not.
I donated plasma. I could show you a scar on my arm. I've done it.
Yeah. That's how I paid my beer money in college. We would go donate beer, donate blood and stuff like that, plasma. And
to go drink. That's what I was doing. I was like 21 doing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rosie in the middle says maybe rent out a room. There's so much. Okay, we got two things. We got Dawn that became a member, and then Tucker and Ryan sent $1.99 super chat. So I will give you both. Geno says it has to be one he did. So here you go.
Hi, I'm Goddess.
For those that don't know, Tucker is a great example of what we were just talking about. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He's on Whatnot now. He's 13 or 14 now, and he literally has just broke 1,000 followers on there. And he's doing a show every day now during the Christmas break, and he's killing it in the garage, the storage unit category. So if you guys haven't gone, follow his show. You guys get great deals. I just bought like 4 items in his last 2 shows.
See, Gina, you might have like that's another side hustle. If you did that and like people are in your area, I have an employee that ships for me. But I agree with Sandy. Like if I knew somebody was like a quality packer that I could trust to pack everything, I'm sure a lot of people would pay for that service. If you guys are thinking of like little side hustles, for sure.
This one also works too. So if you needed one, so
I saw that one.
I've been looking for one for years. I just can't find one. So one day, sugar bomb. We'll see.
If you start your OnlyFans, you'll find one.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know why all of a sudden I'm choking. So I put both of these. I just kind of want us to comment on this. Claudette said she's noticing inventory she had listed for a year is now selling, and she was about to clear it out. So I think we should just comment. So stuff after a year, all of a sudden selling. What do you say about that?
Absolutely true. This year, I've sold stuff that it took me an hour to find because it's been pushed behind things. But stuff that I never thought would sell is sold this year. Don't ask me why, but it has.
I go through my inventory in less than a month. I do live sales, so it's in and out the door within a month.
So there's a saying, there's a reason why eBay, they always say that eBay is a place that you can buy everything because someone needs something at all point in time. And also too, the magic touch. There's many times I've gone through my inventory. I can't explain it. It's an eBay phenomenon where you either see an item like, oh, that hasn't sold, or you reach in a bin, you grab another item, you touch it, and it automatically sells like that week. So there's that eBay special touch. But I mean, this happened to me. I literally pulled out an item the other day. I was like, when I'm going to do something, I'm going to clear up these bins. I'm going to just, get rid of these items. And they sold this week. They've been up for like a year. So it happens. Just right time, right place.
Yeah. And I'm a list it and forget it. If you have the space, I spent the time to list it. It's going to sit there. I have the space though. That's the thing. If you don't have the space, like Sandy doesn't, then you have to move it out. And that's where I would say start upping those offers at, I send an increased offer after 3 months. Oh, I forgot the free. Yes, you get free things. I forgot. I'm glad you reminded me. Yes, I have free things to give away. We will do that after this.
Free Spanish moss.
Yeah, free Spanish moss with the red bugs. If you don't cook it, it has red bugs, just an FYI for everybody. But I had something today sell that I had listed for over 2 years, and we had something sell that was listed for 4 years today.
Wow.
That is like right when I started back to reselling. If I have the room, I'm just going to leave it. I did clear out some pallet stuff. It was like a ton of jeans and stuff that wasn't selling. I just gave it away. But most of the time, if I have the room, I just leave it and let it sit. All right, we're going to put this up. I forgot. Yeah, free ash. I'll give you ash. You must clean it out of the fireplace. All right. So hashtag my go-to tape is for a tape dispenser. It is not for tape. Joel just rolled out brand new tape dispensers. So you will get, Geno would like some ash from the fireplace. You will get a free tape dispenser from Joel at American Bubble Boy. And if you don't know, he has like 24 big rolls of tape for like $35, guys. That will last most people almost a year. The 6-pack lasts us here for several months, and that's like $16. Oh, and code Nurse Flipper, the Nurse Flipper, you will get 5% off every time on tape. There's no discount for bubble wrap. No discount for bubble wrap. All right. So SR1 wants to know if we recommend ending and selling similar when it's been listed a while if the item has watchers.
Am I up? All I see
Yeah.
is
Even though we're all wonky, yes, we're still going in the same order.
okay. That's not in my contract. I'm supposed to be 1/4 of the page. First of all, I do that once a year. I take all the things that are dated the year before, like 6 months into this year, I'll go back and take everything down and sell similar. And it seems to work for me. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, I say like I move my inventory within a month, but if I do have like a very small bin of high-end items, I'm talking like a handful, like 5 to 7 things that I don't want to bring on live auction because of their high value. And I will end and sell similar every so often, even if there's watchers, because, you know, sometimes I feel like just because they're watching it doesn't necessarily mean they want to buy it. It could be somebody that has the same exact item looking to see if they're going to, if I'm going to get the price also, or I don't know what they could be watching it just for the fun of it. Doesn't mean they're going to buy it. So yeah, I don't, even if it does have a watcher, I will end it and do a sell similar. I also think it helps your algorithm because it's almost like a new listing and you actively listed something.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I can care less if I have any watchers on my items. I don't want watchers. I want buyers.
Right.
So the best way I say is if I have an item that has 20 watchers on it, I have a bunch of looky-loos. All right. People are just watching, they're looking, they're not buying. So I actually end and sell similar every single day. I'm at a 4 to 5 month time period where I'm ending my auctions and relisting, because if they're hitting that long, I don't want that inventory to be in my store. Either I listed too high, the market has changed, there's an error in my listing. But also too, if I start my day by ending, say if I end 10 listings each day and sell similar, now it's 10 new listings that are coming in my store every day. It helps the algorithm going. But I will tell you this, there's a lot of times, and we've all done this, you go to Amazon, you add items to your cart, or you go on eBay, you add items to your watch list. You want to buy those items, but you don't want to buy them right now. So you're just waiting. You're like, oh, I'm going to get it later. I'm going to get it later. But then when you get that notification that the item is no longer there, you panic. Oh, no, I really wanted the item. I should have bought it. So one thing I always think about is when I end my listing, that even if it has watches on it, if I'm going to end that listing, I'm going to change my price on, probably lower my price on. When I put it back up, if I already had watches on it, those watches are come right back, or someone's going to buy it right away because that might be the only person on eBay. That one ended. Now they panic. Now they're going to quick look for that item again. They see my item. Now they say, well, the other one just sold. I need to buy this item, even though it's the same item. So yeah. I think it does help. It is beneficial. And I don't care about the watchers, because those watchers, trust me, I do it every single day. Those watchers come right back.
Yeah, and I was doing it every day if it was items past 3 months. I have not been doing it, I will not lie, because I'm putting up 30 to 50 new listings a day. So I have the activity. I need to, but I kind of got out of the routine of it. So I recommend 3 to 6 months after ending and selling similar. My focus is getting the new items up. And so the end and sell similar kind of went to the back burner. But when I wasn't listing that much, I was ending and selling similar every single day. It's just not at the top of my priority list right now. I wanted to put this up. Oh, go ahead, Rod.
I was going to say, once your inventory your death piles are getting low, would you plan on having one of your listers teach them how to do that?
Probably not, because I'm always getting new. Like, the thing is, and I posted this in my Death Pile Destruction group. If you don't know about it, I have a group over on Facebook, Death Pile Destruction. It's to give support to not buy and list the stuff you have for those of you that might have a big death pile. I had one. When I was getting low, I basically was like, oh crap, I need more. And that's why I bought 2 closets full of clothes, because I'm going to make sure I have new stuff for them to list. But it takes like not even 2 minutes. I just need to get in the habit, put that in my morning habits. I might even be able to teach Brad, because Brad is ending the listings for me now. I might be able to teach him how to end and sell similar as part of what he's doing, honestly, now that you say that. I wanted to put it up. Squirrely Reseller said she is on Dave Ramsey, so she at least has a $1,000 emergency fund, which is great to have something. So you know that you have food and electricity at least. Like, that's the big thing. Like I said, you pay for your food, you pay for one car, you pay for the house and the electric. Everything else can go to the wayside. That's not what's important right now. And it sucks because it's going to hit your credit, but you have to eat and you have to have a house to live in. You know, sometimes in hard situations, you got to do what you have to do. And yeah. All right, we'll answer one more question, then I'll pick the winner, and then we'll do some more stuff.
You also signed up for Uber, Shipt, Amazon, Spark, DoorDash, which is awesome. So
yeah, do it. Like, I know people, like the people when we were up in the mountains, that was their living. They were making a good living doing DoorDash. Yeah. Like, it is definitely an option for sure. All right. Peddling Profits wants to know if any of us have sold on Cherish, and if we have, positive and negative.
I never even heard of Cherish, so I can't help you.
I have, but it's been several years. And it's funny because I was actually just talking to my friend Susan about Cherish, because she does sell on there more so than I do. And my understanding is if you don't have more than 20 items, they take a larger percentage fee. So you have to have more than 20 items to have that lower fee.
Listed?
Yes, listed.
Okay.
More than 20 items listed, which is probably not a problem for most people. But their fees tend to be a little higher. But when I did have items on there, they did sell really well, and they did sell for a higher value. And again, it was glass, and it was higher end glass, like your Muranos. So I did have good luck with it, but I haven't really listed on there in probably a year and a half now.
Rod, have you sold on Cherish?
No, I have not. I was actually just on the Cherish website to see what it is, but
Most of the buyers are decorators. They're designers, so they buy and for their clients.
They pay a lot more.
They pay a lot more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never have. I really need to think about it, especially as I'm trying to get the higher end stuff. I need to think about it. And it's mostly like decor stuff, right, Sandy? Is it almost all decor?
Yes, and furniture. There's furniture on there too.
Yeah, so like if I ever get back into, like, I was doing a lot of like Ethan Allen and stuff for a little while. And if so, that stuff that would go. Does Cherish, I thought somebody told me Cherish will arrange the freight as well, I was told, and it was easier.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so if I did furniture again, I would probably go ahead and try and do that, because like most of the Ethan Allen pieces were like $500 low end. Most of them were quite a bit more. Oh, okay. Look, Timeless Rose Vintage said you have to have 10 or more listings or they take 40%. Wow.
I thought it was 20, but
I don't cherish them.
So that's why you double your price. That's why stuff sells for so much, because they're charging double the fees of everywhere else. That's crazy.
You can put them all in draft, and then when you get, I thought it was 20, maybe it's 10, but when you get to that set amount, you can go active. So that way you'll have them all.
Just like Stardom. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Start them, put them in draft, and then list that minimum quantity that they require.
So Susan, as far as mailing supplies, my go-to tape, which is up here, is American Bubble Boy. That's where we get our tape and our bubble wrap from. And then Giaro Pack, which is the next one I am going to share, is the one where we get poly mailers. And most of my boxes come from eBay shipping. I do use my coupon, but we do have to buy more than that. Yeah, it does sound almost like a consignment fee. It does. You know, where they're taking almost half of it. All right, let's pick a winner of this, and then we'll give away some poly mailers. Speaking of, so let's go. Dun, da, da, da. And just email me, and I'll give you a code. I have the codes. Gina with the party hat and the puppy. That looks like my Ruby. I have to show you. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I actually, look, I have to show her. Pictures? I just took this picture of Dalton and Ruby. Let's see if you can see. Look. It looks just like my Ruby, her puppy with the hat on, doesn't it? Like she's got the little white face and everything. It looks just like your puppy. All right, let's do hashtag GRO pack. We'll give away 2 packs of poly mailers, padded or non. I'm trying to find the link and I don't see it. Why do I not see the link? Am I crazy? No, I am crazy.
You want me to answer that one?
No, I already know. I already know the answer. Hashtag GRO pack, guys. We'll pick 2 winners. Let's go ahead and we'll grab another question. Miss Linda wants to know, how can I save my sold listings info longer than eBay keeps it? And also a follow-up of what info from the eBay account should I be downloading and saving?
I don't. Why does she want to keep it longer? Don't they hold it for like 90 days?
Yeah, they do hold it.
Yeah, she wants to keep it longer.
Well, I don't know. I've never wanted to keep it longer. I guess you could just download it. I mean, you have the, what's it called, with the selling information. What, I can't think of what it's called now.
The reports.
The reports.
Yeah, the reports, and just keep it that way.
Yeah, that's what I do for tax purposes, is all
Yeah.
those reports.
I don't keep my daily selling information because at the end of the year, I just run eBay breaks it down per month for you. So I just roll my monthly numbers because I already have my inventory and all that stuff done. So if you're looking to keep that, that's something you probably have to do manually. You can go in there and I think you can probably print off, export to a CVC file, maybe, I'm assuming.
You know what else, though, that I bet would work? And I haven't talked about it because I don't use it, is my reseller Genie.
Yeah.
So that works in place of QuickBooks. And I saw the picture. They went live. They told me I wasn't allowed to. I think they went live with it today. They are now importing automatically Poshmark and eBay. So all your sales will come in. It will track everything. And I bet they keep it. And it's only like $10 to $20 a month. It's accounting software for resellers. So it's my reseller Genie. I have a discount code, the Nurse Flipper. I don't use it. I use an accountant. So I forget to talk about it. But most people couldn't afford to pay monthly for an accountant. I pay almost $400 a month for my accountant. I pay a lot. But what he does is download the monthly reports. So for me, I'm like Rod. I don't care. It's money in, money out. I just want to be able to see my sales, and it's the money that came in that month and the money that goes out. But I bet that my reseller Genie, and it depends on what information you want. You're not going to be able to see the items. If you use List Perfectly, the sold items stay in there forever and you could refer back to them. So that would keep the actual listings forever if you wanted the listings. So it really depends on what information you're wanting and why. Yeah, like Mark's saying, use List Perfectly. So that would keep your listings if you're wanting to see. They never go away. Yeah, keeping it for relisting a similar item, or when people return things. I use List Perfectly to go find the listing when I get returns, because it's fell off because I'm a ding dong and don't check my P.O. box. If you've ever sent me anything, you know that. The post office, when it gets over full, they like shove it in my husband's hands, whether he wants it or not, is how we get our P.O. box stuff. We don't even ever open it. You could print it. I'm not trying to have a ton of paper around. Sherry, she's saying about $1K a month. I started paying an accountant at $2K a month. I don't like messing with the government and tax stuff. So I would you could get QuickBooks, or my reseller Genie is good if you're doing reseller for eBay and Poshmark. It does. You can automatically put in the information for the other, but it automatically pulls in eBay and Poshmark sales. And you can put your cost of goods. They have profit tracking. They have a lot of really, really good features. I don't use it. Yay, Molly's here. Woo! Okay. Let's pick a winner. We have 143 entries. Let's pick 2 winners. Here we go. For this, Marsha will put the instructions. You need to pick what you want and email me your address. If you don't email me your address, I don't know where to tell them to send them to. Miss Mary is the first winner, and we will pick another one. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Miss Linda, Tip Top Flips, is the second winner. All right, I'll do other stuff next week. I'll do some eBay swag next week, plus our regulars. There is the information for you guys. Marsha put it. This is funny, and this is a soapbox question for me. Annie wants to know, how would you handle an unhappy customer or review? Do you have any stories you would like to share? I have a story from today I will share.
Oh, I got a good one.
Unhappy customers. I mean, when I answer them and try to be polite, they just answer back more unhappy. So I answer them once, and after that, I don't even bother with them. They're gonna send it back. You're gonna have to refund their money. There's not much you can do about it. Try to be nice once, and that's it. Just say, please send the item back.
I got my very first negative review on eBay after 20 plus years, and I was really bummed by it. And it was completely untrue. They bought the item, they never paid for it, and I had somebody that really, really wanted it. It was a very highly sought after vase, and it was very rare and hard to find. And I had a very loyal customer who really wanted it. And so when they didn't pay for it, I canceled the sale and eventually did resell it eventually. But they were able to still leave a negative review even though they never paid for it, which I thought was kind of weird for eBay. And I called the eBay customer service, and apparently that's a new thing now. Even if they don't pay for it, they're allowed to leave negative feedback.
That's silly.
Did they remove it?
They will not remove it. They absolutely will not.
I would have tried again.
So,
it should come down.
Yeah, so there's different approaches. I would contact eBay on eBay for eBay for Business on Facebook. But I would tell you this: I've had that happen to me before, and I just call back the next day. I call back the next day. You'll get different reps every time. You'll eventually get that removed for you.
And
so
the rep
if it bothers you that much,
he escalated it, and still nothing ever happened, and it was just frustrating. But like, all you can do is like put in a reply, and I just said, and what happened is she wanted me to hand deliver the vase, and it was like a 2-hour drive for me to hand deliver the vase, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hand deliver. No, I'm gonna ship it. I'm gonna ship it to you, and so she never paid for it, and so I have all the text messages. So I just put in a comment that's the review's not even accurate. She never said anything about requesting me to deliver it. She did not pay for it. She claimed that she did pay for it when she did not pay for it. So all I said is, if anybody who wants to see the text exchanges, feel free to reach out. I'll definitely hand them to you. But no one ever has ever asked for them. But what else can you say? Like you can't defend yourself, but you still have to be professional. And I mean, I don't.
So a good way for you is if you contact eBay next time, let them know that there's false information in the. You did still, yeah. Try again. You should get that removed.
That should be removed.
If it's over a month, though, they won't do it. If it's over 30 days.
No, it's been over 30 days. And then I had one on Whatnot where it's a long story, but with her, I just unfortunately something.
If you contact Whatnot, a lot of times they'll pull them down. I've had negative. Yeah. I don't even look at mine. I forget. Now I should go look at it.
Well, the one thing, I mean, I sold the item and it was a bell. Okay. This is a long story and it's frustrating. But the bell, like, how they have the chain and then the clapper? Well, the chain, unbeknownst to me, had been re-glued up and in the bell, and I never noticed it. I didn't know it. It had a repair, I guess, and I did not know it. I'm only human. There's only so much you can do. So instead of like reaching out to me or asking for a refund, she just left a negative comment. And I reached out to her and I said, I'm so sorry. Why don't you, get a refund? and she never responded. So I noticed that she was a seller. So I went to her store and I bought a couple things from her store and sent a message again. I said, I hope this makes up for the bell. So, and then, she, you know, I did hear back from her and she did say thank you. And then it wasn't that big a deal. She did want to keep the bell. So I don't know. Kill them with kindness, I guess, is the best thing I can say. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. They're gonna have their feelings about it.
So I would say over the years, I've had a lot of, say, run into difficult customers or issues that may arise from shipping or from items getting damaged, stuff like that. But I always go above and beyond. So, you know, here's the thing. Like, one thing you need to realize is anytime you have an unhappy customer, they're being emotional. So a lot of times I'll respond to them if they're heated or come back and nasty. I'll wait till the next day and respond back to them again. Because usually it takes people 24 hours to cool down and they just may be emotional, but I always try to fix the situation. But I will tell you about the customer from hell. All right. And I had this customer from the Middle East and they bought it's always, I don't know why this is. It's always items that are like $20 or less. That's like, it was always the biggest hassle. And I sold a video game to someone overseas there for the Middle East. I think it was going to Dubai or somewhere over there. And they put in the wrong like postal code or something like that, but I've already shipped the item. So and they bought it through eBay International Shipping. So if you guys don't know eBay International Shipping, you ship it in the States to the shipping location. They put in a big pallet, they get a discounted shipping, and then they ship it overseas. That's what they do. And this person just kept going, I'm not going to get my item. I'm like, you need to contact eBay. I can't go in there and adjust your thing. Once it gets to the shipping station, eBay handles all the international shipping. Well, this item was got stuck in customs, which caused it to even go longer, arrived to their local postal areas, but it was undeliverable because they had the wrong address in there. So this person would send me messages, and because of the time difference, you know, I forgot we were like 10 hours or 12, whatever it was. Like, so at night when I'm sleeping, all these messages were just coming in, and because I wasn't responding, it was be a message. But I woke up one morning, I had 47 messages. 47 messages, and it'd be like one word, hello, you're an a-hole, blah 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 blah. It would just keep going, getting worse and worse, and then it would go on. The next day it would go through. I had to contact eBay for harassment. I'm like, what do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do. The items, and then he filed a claim he filed a claim. eBay settled with me because the item was undeliverable because of they put in the wrong address, and that just set him off even worse. So I got so many comments, so many things, and then it just stopped. And then like a month later, he must have remembered and then came back and just sent me messages again. I got like another 25 messages. Next thing I got another 22 messages. It was, yeah. And then he just finally stopped eventually. But yeah, horrible, horrible, horrible.
Yeah. So I think some people just thrive on doing that. I don't agree with Rod that they're just emotional. Some people are a-holes.
Yeah.
And there are scammers and people that are going to try and tell you stuff to get money back. So I am nice, and I typically don't do partial refunds. I tell them to send it back. I have free returns. I will be happy to give them their money back. That will nip in the bud the people that are trying to get a partial refund, because that's what they do. Today, and it's there for you all to see, got a second negative feedback in a month. And they bought a $12 Hagen Reneker Yorkie figurine. They said, oh, the back foot is missing. The back foot was not missing in the photos. The back foot was not missing when we shipped it. We know for a fact. If you have ever watched me ship, I use Joel at American Bubble Boy loves me. I use way too much bubble wrap. I've gotten a comment that I use too much bubble wrap. That's how much bubble wrap I use. And I said, please send me pictures so I can see the damage you're referring to. I was asking for proof, and I would have issued a full refund had I been sent pictures. Never sent me pictures. You can go read the negative feedback. Left me negative feedback and said, the seller asked for pictures. Heaven friggin' forbid I asked for proof before I give you money. And that was their negative feedback. They just went and bought it from another seller because if I didn't agree with the damage, that they didn't want to extend the time it was a gift, even though they bought it after Christmas, which is fine. But That's like saying everybody can just message me and say they're crap broken shipping and I'm just going to give them their money back. Like, I'm not giving you money without proof. I did not ask her to ship it back. I asked for photos. I asked for proof of the damage she was claiming. She refused to send pictures. And so my response, I tried to keep it level-headed. I was not happy. That happened on live shipping too. So you never know what you'll see on my live shipping. I posted that I have free 30-day returns. I'm happy to refund if you prove to me there is damage. And I don't think eBay will remove that feedback. I'm not even going to try. But it sucks because she's saying it broke, but she will not send me proof. And now, honestly, I'm at the point where I don't care about the negative anymore. Like, I'm not going to let her win when she won't prove to me what she's saying. And I think I'm just letting my 100% dream ever come back, go out the window, because I'm not going to give in to buyer pressure when they're not like, that would mean you would just give everybody their money back every time they message you. So with all of that said, my customer skills leave a lot to be desired because I don't like BS and I don't tolerate it and I don't sugarcoat. If you watch my channel, I don't sugarcoat, and I tend to not sugarcoat with the buyers either. And I wanted to put this up because this is step number 1 for me. If they are giving me, if they're unhappy for a legitimate reason, I'm the nicest person. I will give them a full refund. They can keep the item. So don't take that wrong. But the people like Rods that are going to call me names, belittle me, be nasty to me, you're not getting anything from me. And at this point, like, I don't even care about the negative feedback anymore because why? Right? No, you may not have a refund, sir. No refund. Like, but I have free 30-day returns. There is no excuse for people to not be happy, right? Like, so if it's reasonable, I'm fine. If people are ridiculous, I do not do very well with it. I don't sugarcoat with my friends or with anybody. Like, if you guys ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the answer without all the sugarcoating. And that's how I am with buyers. Like, don't BS me. I need to be like Rod, and instead of them cooling down, I need to let me cool down until the next day before I respond. But all I did was ask the lady for pictures. I didn't even say I don't believe you. I said, could you please send me pictures of the damage? That's all I said. And she left me a paragraph of negative feedback. So Scott gets, this is what you get for $10. You get Rod. Geno did make this one, so it's loud. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
That's what I say to that lady. I'm not like, I'm a refund. So it used to be on eBay, even if they didn't ask for a return and you gave a refund, they would remove the feedback. And I knew that. So if it was like under $10, I would just refund them. eBay will not do that anymore. So don't give them suckers their money, because eBay's not going to take off their negative just because you gave them their money back. Just know that. They are not going to take it off anymore.
Scott's got jokes tonight, as always.
Scott always has jokes. Always. Now people are messaging me. Okay. Carla wants to know, besides typical brands, what are some brands you won't buy anymore?
Oh, what are those dolls? They won't sell anymore. I can't think. Go to Sandy while I think of this name. I can't think.
Brands
Those little ceramic dolls. I can't.
She give examples.
Precious Moments?
Precious Moments. You can't give them away anymore. They used to sell. I'm sorry, Sandy.
No, you're fine.
They used to sell like crazy, and now you can't give them away. And you can tell by, if you go to Goodwill, you'll see a stack of them, and they're not selling. That's one of the ones I won't buy anymore.
Oh, there's a lot of brands I just will never buy. And in terms of like glass, oh gosh, I stay away from like Princess House. I stay away from Avon. I stay away from Dynasty
Avon.
Gallery. I mean, there's a lot of depression. Like I like uranium glass, but there's a lot of depression glass I stay away from. But with any trend though, they come and go. They come and go. They come and go. So what's popular today won't be a year from now, and vice versa. So it's so hard to say. But I mean, it's different. It's different for glass, I think, than the question that you're asking. So that's kind of a harder question. That's hard for me to answer when it comes to glass.
But Sandy's right. Avon's another one. Avon doesn't.
So
Yeah, no Avon.
Yeah, everything that we see on here, there's going to be exceptions to every rule. So before people start messaging us and be like, "Oh, I sold Avon for this amount of money" and stuff like that, we get it. There are exceptions.
There's always exceptions.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that one out there because before I receive the hate mail, but I would say, I mean, yeah, people like the biggest things online, like I get so many messages about Black Diamond VHS for Disney. No, those sales aren't real online. There are people that buy them and they don't pay for them, or they accept an offer and don't pay for them, or they just run up an auction. Beanie Baby is something I stay away from. Tommy Hilfiger, I used to buy a lot of Tommy Hilfiger. I'm very selective with it now because the market has been flooded and it doesn't sell for what it used to sell. That's one thing. Tommy Bahama, I used to sell a lot of Tommy Bahama really fast, and that has really changed over time. Now I still will like the silk shirts in certain patterns, but I'm more selective now than I once was because the market's always changing. Avon, something I pretty much stay away from, but I did sell an $18 ET Avon mug, but it was ET, so it was like exception to the rule. But yes, I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else on top of my head. I don't know, Kat, you got anything?
No, I think you pretty much covered it because I'll pick up almost everything if the price is right. Like if it'll sell for 15, 20, I'm trying to get my average up more to 40 or 50. But like my dollar clothing places, I can get stuff that'll sell for 15 to 20. The Tommy Bahamas still sell good. They just don't sell for as much. So I think you just more need to be careful about how much you're paying for them. I don't do women's clothing. Beanie Babies, I would pick up again if I got them for $1/4 a piece. I sold out of like 300 for $9.95 free shipping. I was getting $5 a piece, but from $1/4, but they sold fast. But so I don't expect any value from them. So I probably wouldn't now that I'm paying people to list because I would make nothing. Yeah. But if I was listing myself, I would still pick up a lot of Beanie Babies. But I stopped researching those suckers. I just started. They all went up at $9.99 free shipping. But they sold out, and I made $5 from $1/4 purchase, so that all goes to what point you're at in your business. So at this point in my business, I probably would not. But I still pick up almost every brand if it's a good color or pattern. There's always exceptions to the rule. Like Avon jewelry sells good. Some can sell very high. Avon perfume bottles that they made 5 million of do not, because there are 5 million of them. Nobody wants them. Same with the Precious Moments. All the stuff that was sold to people as collectibles that they mass produce is not.
Plates. All the plates.
Oh my gosh, the plates. You know what's worth money though?
Collector's plates.
So the only plates I found that I've done well are full sets of Disney plates.
Yes.
And I get about 12 to 15 a piece.
Yep.
In a set. But the wood holders, and we talked about this on my last live sourcing, the wood holders for plates sell, and they sell for $30 to $50 if they're solid wood. So if you can find decorative plates cheap in the frames, I buy them for the frames and get rid of the plates. Just FYI. I sold some for $50 a piece because they had some fancy name on them. So
yeah. Porcelain dolls is no one that I used to see that people.
But I have a member that makes her living on them.
Yeah.
But I don't know which ones sell good. I would never pick. I agree. I don't pick up dolls. But I did a review, and they sell only porcelain dolls for hundreds and hundreds. Like that's their whole business.
Ray Dunn used to sell really well. Now it's certain items. I mean, it's just
only particular pieces.
Yeah. Hoka, so new or used. I have no problem with that. But Ray Dunn, I definitely see that one.
So Missy, for pirate ship, you literally just create a free account. It walks you through it. You can link your eBay store and it'll import the listings, and then you hit purchase label, or you can do ship a single and fill out the stuff, and you put the dimensions and the weight, and it shows you UPS, USPS. It's very, very, like, it walks you through. It's not hard at all to do. And it's a free account to make it super, super easy to use pirate ship.
Kat, you want to pick out one more? I don't know if you noticed the time.
Oh, shoot. I didn't see the time. Yeah, hold on. What is a polar dip?
That's where people jump into like a pool or ice or.
I walked outside in Florida and it was 40 degrees. That was my polar dip.
Yeah. It's been cold. Russell
said he found a new YouTube channel. She sells mainly clothing. She had a lot of items with models in them. So I think a lot of people, especially on Poshmark, they use the manufacturer's pictures. They're not supposed to. I will tell you though, when I did my pallets of clothing, my daughter and my sister, who are both like tiny little blonde things, I made them model them because I had like 20 pairs of each thing, and I paid them to do it. It might be her, or she might have a friend, but typically they're probably stealing the manufacturer's thing. All right, let me let everybody say bye. I got on my soapbox and didn't know what time it was. So if we didn't get to your questions, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Let me make Geno big, and then Sandy, they can let you know what they've got going on and where you can find them. And then me and Rod will tell you the same. So here is Geno.
Well, first I want to thank Rod and Kat. They're like the best hosts on YouTube. They're very nice. And also it's nice to meet Sandy for the first time. And I subscribed to your channel the other day, Sandy. Now on my channel, what I do, I want to take you guys on a ride along. Now, why don't you come visit me and go on a ride along or two? And if you enjoy what you see and how I make you laugh, hopefully, then subscribe. And if not, go unsubscribe from someone else's channel, because I don't want to do that. Don't do that to me. Okay, that's it.
All right. Here is Sandy.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. It was nice to meet Geno and Rod and, Kat. Someday we'll actually meet in person, and you're one of the rare few I haven't met yet. And it's great to be on. And I have a Whatnot sale on Thursday, I believe. So that's my next sale. But primarily I'm on Whatnot, on Knickknacks, and on eBay. And I forgot to mention, I actually sell some t-shirts. I design t-shirts on Etsy, which is a newer thing. And yeah, and if I'm traveling, I usually let people know where I'll be traveling to. And if you're in that area, let me know. I'd like to meet up with people, because people like to show me their honey holes. So if I'm in your area, I would love to meet up with you.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
I dropped a brand new video today. Now, I know each and every one of you thinks I'm perfect, but in this video, I made a really bad buy at a flea market. So go watch me make a bad buy. I'm taking this week off from Whatnot. I got family in town, but I will be back next week on Whatnot. So go give me a follow on Whatnot. And check out my second channel, Flipping and Punching. If you haven't, it's more the business side, kind of what we talk about here. I talk about stuff like that and show you guys what's selling, which I do and then we talk about different topics as I'm showing you what's selling.
Yeah, so next week we are going to have my reseller Jeannie. So I have met them in person. It is the founders, husband and wife team. They will be on with us. If you have questions about accounting software, next week's the week to bring it. We will have my reseller Jeannie here, and we are also going to have Free King Flipper Dennis is going to be on with us. He has not been on before, so 2 new guests you have not seen or heard from. So we are excited about that.
He has a very interesting business model, which he specializes in getting a lot of free items. So it'd be interesting to hear how he does that. So,
yeah, for sure. And then I I don't have any whatnot scheduled. I'm trying to do 1 to 2 jewelry a week, as well as an ephemera one, which went really, really well tonight. Everybody absolutely loved it. So I probably will do another jewelry sale Friday with sterling silver, and then maybe I'll be either on Whatnot or Knickknacks Friday. I don't know which one. I'm gonna pick one. My goal for the new year is 2 Whatnots, 1 Knickknacks a week is what I would like to try and meet. It's late, so I'll probably put out my catch treasure hunting video in the morning instead of tonight. It finished uploading right before we went live, and I didn't want to put it out then. And it's been 3 weeks again. I was bad and didn't put up videos on that channel, but I'm going to attempt to put up 2. Dalton and I are going to Clearwater Beach to find shells and to find treasures. We are going thrifting on Thursdays, so we will have some different thrift stores rather than my regular ones I always go to. And I appreciate all of you again. Have a happy new year. We appreciate all of you so, so much. Thank you for coming. Geno and Sandy, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, guys.